Oh shit, Shannon, you left. Oh, you're back. Okay. What a way to start it.
Oh boy. Sorry about all my cancellations
No, I understand.
and
I mean,
moving it around.
you're top tier. You're upper echelon of.
Yeah.
You're really popular now.
I'm one step away from Miley status.
That's right. Yeah, you guys are doing SNL like next week, right?
Oh man, that's one of my dreams actually.
Really?
Oh yes. I would love to. It's not like the best show right this very second. It comes in it's so good though.
Yeah.
I'm a longtime fan no matter what. I support them. I would love to be on SNL. They need better music on there anyway.
That's very true. What to your earliest recollection, like who was on the cast when you first started watching it?
When I first was like, oh, I'm a huge fan of the
Mm-hmm.
show, probably Mike Myers, like those years,
Mm-hmm.
Rob Schneider, Tim Meadows, Julia Sweeney. What's the, oh God, there's a really early one. Oh, Norm Macdonald, RIP.
Funny guy.
Yeah, funny guy.
Terrific comedian. Seriously. Yeah.
I rewatched Dirty Work. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way this stands up. And yes, there's definitely some very offensive, not 2021 friendly jokes. But aside from those, that stands up.
Yeah. Artie Lang.
That's a flick. I love Artie. Have you seen his nose?
I have. I definitely have. It's
I look up pictures of it like probably once a month. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's very, and for those listening, I mean, if you haven't seen it, go Google it. You're I wouldn't say in for a treat, but it's there, and it's, I mean,
yeah,
it's something to see.
Poor guy snorted glass on accident. He's brilliant. Did you read his autobiography?
I didn't. No.
It's so good. I will say I got really bored because a lot of it's about baseball. So I really tried to get into it, but I got bored as hell. But everything else he's such a good writer, and it really made me I have a real soft spot in my heart for Artie.
Right. Yeah, he
and
is.
his outfits
very funny.
and Dirty Work are so cute. All his t-shirts. I think he's supposed to look stupid or something. His looks are great.
It looks fantastic. Norm Stew. I mean, that
big
movie's
pants.
Great. Are you
outfits?
Yeah. No, I like it. I think he dresses pretty well. I think he's always dressed pretty well.
Big shirts. I don't know about Norm's outfits. R.I.P. You shouldn't speak ill of.
Yeah, how dare you, Shannon?
I know.
How was the X concert last night?
It was great. I got to meet John Doe. Well, I've actually met him before, but I got to talk to him again. He wants to go on tour together. I found out he was living in Richmond for 5 years. When I was in Oakland, I never ran into him, even though I worked there. That was a shame, but yeah, they were awesome. They're great every time I see them.
Mm-hmm.
They played all the hits also.
Good. That'd be funny if they played no hits at all.
Well, maybe every song's a hit. Must be nice.
It's rare. Have you ever ran into anybody while walking on the street, like a celebrity of some sort, and you're like, oh, that's such and such? Isn't that weird to see him here?
Yeah. Yes, I have. Okay, you know that movie, is it called That Thing You Do?
Yeah, with Tom Hanks and what's his name? Tom Everett Scott, I believe his name is.
Is that his name?
What's he look
like?
The main dude, not Steve Zahn, which is the other guy that I know from that.
Love Steve Zahn.
Yeah, I think Tom Everett Scott is his name because he was also on another show recently. Yeah.
Is he like very hunky?
Yeah, he was the drummer in it. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw him eating salad while I was eating a salad at Tender Greens in LA one time. Oh, Oh, I got two more. And then one time I saw Michael Cera walking down the street in New York, and I just thought I knew him. So I was just like, hey. And he looked at me and my friend Julia, and then he kept going. He didn't say hey back. But this other time, I was at another place, this like very hip restaurant in Marin County. I don't remember what it's called. It's like this chic, like Puerto Rican restaurant. And I was waiting in line, and I saw this dude in the back of the restaurant that I was like, oh, what's that guy's name? I know him from back in the day, like in the Oakland, garage scene, and like from the warehouses. What's that guy's name? I don't know. So I waved at him. It's a packed restaurant. And I was like, what's up? And he looked at me, and I was like, isn't this weird? We're both here, with my hands like gesticulating. And he was just like, hey. And I realized, I was like, oh, that's Chris Robinson from the Black Crowes. I don't know him.
No, he was around. He was a scene guy, right?
Not where I was.
Yeah,
but he was very nice. He was like, hey, yeah. He was friendly back.
Do you think that he knew who you were?
No.
Okay.
He does now, but not then.
Oh, so so later on, you know that he knows you.
Yeah, because one of my bandmates in my solo band plays in his band.
Ooh.
Now. One of my solo buddies is a crow now, Black Crow.
Good on him.
His band is called the Once and Future Band. You should check them out. It is Once and Future Band.
And Future, okay.
Yeah, Once and Future Band. It's kind of like it's the best. It's they're all insane musicians. They're an Oakland band, but they're way different than like the more like punky garage scene that I came out of. They're all insane jazzy rock and roll, not rock and roll. Like it's like Yes mixed with Steely Dan mixed with ELO.
Gotcha. I'm with you.
So if those interest you, maybe I'm making them sound really unappealing, but they are a very appealing band.
I like how those bands that you mentioned, like, no, that can't be appealing to anybody. No way those successful bands are.
I love those bands.
The last time we chatted,
I grew up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the last time we chatted, you just moved to Portland.
Yep, still here.
Okay, just making sure. We didn't get the address last time, but we're gonna get it this time. So
okay.
I'll put it out in the for everybody to know.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So everybody come visit you, because I know you like guests, right?
Uninvited, strange guests. It's kind of my thing.
Yeah.
You know what? My mom loves weird guests, and when we were kids, she would pick up hitchhikers. Because I have this older brother. He's 13 years older. So when I was like a little kid, he was a teen. And she would just like, if she saw a guy around his age, she'd pick him up and give him a ride. So we picked up a lot of hitchhikers when I was a kid.
It's very sweet of her.
I mean, it's interesting. She loves a broken wing. Her houses sort of run more like a compound. We've always had, so my parents divorced when I was 8, and my dad moved out and moved into a teeny house. And then my mom has this house with like about an acre of walnut orchards, which I'm allergic to walnuts, so it's kind of bullshit. But every inch of that property has been lived on in some way. Like we've had so my brother was a rocker, and then he turned into like a weird hippie, like Guatemala shorts kind of guy, weed grower. He moved into a school bus, and he like tricked it out on the inside and put a wood burning stove in there and stuff. But then he had friends move into other buses, and then he took over a hayloft, and people lived in this hayloft, and then people lived in tents. I lived in a tent in her backyard for a summer. I don't know, but she likes it like that.
Did you like the tents?
Like it like that.
Yeah, okay.
I loved it, but I was like 18. It's like the summer I graduated high school. I thought it would be fun to live in a tent for a while. And look, it was definitely glamping because it was like 10 feet from the door to the house. And I had a really long extension cord that I brought out what's it called? A TV VCR combo. And I just watched VHS movies at night with the I didn't put the rain fly on so I could see the stars through the top. It was awesome. I would do it again.
It's that van life that everybody's searching for, but you found it in a backyard.
Yeah, I don't get the van life. I don't fucking get it. But maybe that's because for a living I do it and I don't like that part.
How did the last Clams tour go? I know that you recently did a little run.
Yep, it went great. Yeah, it went really good actually. We didn't know what to expect because ticket sales across the board are terrible for everyone. Every kind of music. I mean, actually, maybe that's not true. X show was sold out.
Doesn't say not X.
But it's like people aren't buying the tickets ahead of time, because they're afraid to commit. And I totally get that. So many people got, we've all been burned a million times over the last 2 years. So we were worried, but the response was great. Felt fabu. The new songs worked out good. We paid someone to design us projections, and I don't think the people liked those, and we did a bad job too. Like we don't have enough money to make stuff like that look good.
All right. Well, I mean, to each its own. I bet they look better than you think they did.
Maybe, but the music went well and the attitudes were fab.
All right, that's good. What makes a good live show in your eyes?
Well, what makes a good live show? Like if I'm watching a show or for my opinion on stage.
Your opinion on stage, yeah.
When I walk away, if I'm like, that was a great show. Definitely audience, really feeling the audience and feeling like I can just feel everyone and feel like they're having a great time or having like an awakening or really like also being connected with the band. Sometimes when me and Cody are playing, we always play right next to each other. Sometimes when he's like further away on the stage, like a lot of the time I'll put him right in the middle. And I don't want anyone blocking the drummer. I like him to be right next to me. But if he's too far away, I can tell that we're not as connected, and I hate that. So sometimes I'll be like, can you scoot over? And I'll scoot over to you. Like, we need to connect. We're not connected. Mm-hmm. But yeah, when we're really like locked in but sometimes, we'll be playing poorly, but the crowd is so amazing. It'll kind of like bring us back. Mm-hmm. And maybe vice versa. Maybe it's like a boring, shitty ass crowd. And then we're like, decide we're going to get really super into it. And then they come around. All
right. Yeah. What's more often the case of that? It's a shitty crowd that you bring them in, or it's a shitty show and the crowd brings you in?
Look, I'm not going to lie. Most Clam shows are fucking great. Like we have like really, really wonderful fans. And I'm constantly like overwhelmed with gratitude. And I'm not even being sarcastic right now. Like I would say most of our shows are really, really good. And it's a good, even exchange, All
right. We didn't answer the question, so I'll ask it. What goes through your head right after you step off stage? Like right when the performance is done, you say goodnight, you're walking out the stage. What's going through your mind?
I mean, you probably like I'll probably quickly analyze the crowd or like was that good? That was really good. Maybe we'll do a quick check like that. Or sometimes it's like, I'm so thirsty, or I'm glad that's over because I'm really hot and tired, or it's a wide range, but it's usually like relief and reward, just feeling like, I love doing this. Maybe I told you this story last time, but these dudes came up to me when I was having an art show, and they were like, do you remember us? And I was like, no, I'm sorry, I don't remember you. Where did we meet? And he's like, we met last time you played blah blah blah, and you were such a bitch. And I was like, I was a bitch? Did I already tell you this story?
No, I don't think so. No.
And I was like, I was a bitch. And whoa, what did you do to me? Because I would never just be a bitch. And they were like, we didn't do anything. And I was like, no, if you're really committed to saying I was a bitch, you definitely did something to me.
Right.
And they're like, no, we didn't. You were just like a bitch. And I was like, no, what did you do? What did you do to me? Finally, they admitted that it was a Hunx show, and I was playing bass, and they threw a half full can of beer at my head, which has happened hundreds of times. And the can got stuck in my hair. And then I was trying to rip it out of my hair, and it ripped out a big piece. And then they came up to me afterwards, and we were like, that was hilarious. We threw that beer at you and it got stuck in your hair. So apparently I was a bitch.
It sounds like it's on you. Like your reaction wasn't warranted, but whatever. Do you have a different state of mind while on stage as versus like being off stage?
I have to like channel a part of myself that is not always present. I mean, I guess it's always present, but it's like hiding. I have to kind of like like release this other side of myself. Because I don't know. I don't, like, if you were to ask me to just sing right now, I would not. Karaoke, I love. It is very hard for me to do karaoke because it's just very, I don't know. Or like if I was at Thanksgiving and my family asked me to sing a song, like I couldn't do that. So I do have to kind of fake it till I make it, like tap into this other part of myself. What do other people say to that question?
I don't think I've asked that question. Shannon, I told you, these are all just new stuff.
That's good.
New year, new me almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say that the Clams are all like completely themselves. They're that person on stage all the time. So it must be there must be a variety.
Mm-hmm.
Of ways to be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When did you guys start writing Year of the Spider? Because it was not out last time we chatted.
I'd recorded it, but yeah, it wasn't out. So I began writing songs for that in October or maybe September of 2019. I'm pretty sure that's when I started writing the first song.
Which was
I Want to Stay, the first track on the album. Yeah. Because
you always release songs within the order that you wrote them, right? It's always the track list.
That would be hilarious. I actually, next time I should make note of the order in which the songs come to me. Right. That would be very weird.
Need a producer credit on that, Shannon, by the way. I can't just let you walk away with that.
You get producer points. Do you know about producer points?
No, what is that? It's some inside baseball stuff. Let's hear it.
It's inside. I don't totally get it, but you get points, producer points on an album. So I don't know if there's like 100 points, and if you and I lost my train of thought.
A friend.
Producer points.
It sounds like you and a friend get to go to medieval times. And you get the joust. I would like to do that.
I love Dumb and Dumber, but that's not in Dumb and Dumber. That's in Cable Guy.
Cable Guy, yeah, with Matthew Broderick, yeah. That's
right. I love that. Oh wait, is it Red Night's Going Down? Down, down, down. You seen that movie?
I have seen that movie. Yeah, I told you, Matthew Broderick. You know me. I got Criterion Collection. I'm on it.
Do you know who was originally supposed to play the cable guy?
I do not know.
It was originally supposed to be Chris Farley.
Mm.
And it was supposed to be way more slapstick, way more like traditional, Tommy Boy style. But then Jim Carrey did it, and that movie's got some serious darkness.
It does.
It's
It
good.
really does.
It's really good. I watched it with my dad recently. I really hate the fucking part where Matthew Broderick's having a nightmare, and in it, Jim Carrey is like in his wall calling him, and a spider crawls across his face. It's disgusting.
Speaking of spiders, though, great transition, by the way. Thank you for lobbing that up to me. What has changed for you in the band from like the first album to Year the Spider? I mean, this is spanning years now.
Yeah. Confidence, maturity. I feel like I push myself a lot harder, and I have like more of a vision. I feel like, from the first album, when someone asked us to record an album, I was like, why? Wait, we're gonna put on a vinyl record? Why? No one wants that. That's really how I felt. I really was like shocked. Why would anyone want that? And I also didn't think I could write that many songs. And I really, for like years, I thought Shannon and The Clams was like very temporary. And whoa, I'm still doing this? Wait, what? Another tour? We already did a tour. Like I really thought, I mean, it just surprised me for years. So now I feel more, my head is in the game, It definitely feels like my profession now. And I feel like I've learned a lot about, being a self-advocate. And instead of, I feel like a lot of my attitude used to be, whatever, who cares? Like, just, it's fine like that. I don't want to perfect anything. It's fine. And now I realized that was actually, I was too afraid to work really hard on something in case it didn't turn out, or in case people didn't like it. Cause I was just so afraid of, someone laughing at my ugly baby. But now I completely see the value in working hard and honing your craft or whatever, and pushing to get something exactly where you want it. I also used to be afraid of telling other people, I didn't ever want to ask for help, and I didn't want to correct anyone. So if we were in the studio or something, I would never want to speak up and say that I actually fucking hate how you play drums, or I wouldn't know how to say it properly. But now I feel, I don't know, just better at communicating. And is that a good answer?
I love it. Yes, it was a great answer. I wouldn't say it was a good answer. I'd say it was a great answer. And it was the answer I was looking for. Yeah.
Good.
When are you most inspired to sit down and write something, or is it spontaneous?
Well, when it's both. So when it is spontaneous, I would say that's often like a really fun song. Like fun, and it feels good, and it feels good to play, and is more upbeat. That's a spontaneous song. Like the one I'm thinking of right now is, I don't know what it's called. It's on Onion. Oh boy, what's it called? Oh, If You Could Know. Like that was a spontaneous one where it was just suddenly like, oh, whoa, I wonder if I could play that. Whoa, I can kind of play that on the bass, and that was spontaneous. So the other way is usually if I'm writing, like if I'm going through something very like emotional and I'm alone, driving in the car is when a lot of my songwriting comes to me. I'm driving alone. Like I would say most of the first several albums were written between my house in Oakland and then my mom's house out in Napa County.
The commune.
Yeah, the commune. Yeah, most of the songs were probably written in what was that car I used to have? I used to have a turquoise Ford. Oh, what's that hideous thing called? Like a gross little station wagon.
A Taurus.
Oh, I had a Taurus too.
Oh,
the Taurus was the worst car I've ever had, and I had it for like 2 years. But I had a little turquoise Ford Escort station wagon, and I wrote a lot of the first Clam songs in there.
What was that, your first car, or
no? My first car. All of us got a turn having my dad's truck be our first car. So I had like a 73 Chevy Cheyenne pickup.
You said your brother was like a teenager when you were born, right?
Yeah.
So did he have the truck before you did? And it just kept on it just stayed in the family?
He actually never had my dad's truck. He had his own truck. He had like a silver Chevy lowrider kind of a thing. But all my other brothers actually did. They all drove the truck for a while. That truck was amazing. It electrocuted me one time when the truck bed was full of water, and I was like about to touch the radio, like a little tiny. I feel like I'm lying to you right now because it sounds unbelievable, but a little tiny green lightning, what do you call that? Bolt.
Yeah.
Came
a little spark
out of the radio to my finger and fucking burned it.
Yeah.
It's bad. Anyways, so
water gets me by choking me, and it gets you by shocking you by the radio. Yeah, I understand. I'm with you.
Yeah. And then my dad got this very sweet neighbor lady to sell me her 78 Buick Electra for $800, and it was in wonderful, like 20,000 miles. She only drove it to church and the grocery store.
Grocery getter.
So, yeah, great condition that car was.
Mm-hmm. How many cars have you had, a rough estimate?
I can't do a rough estimate. I have to count them on my fingers.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Chevy truck. But it really wasn't mine. Okay, that wasn't mine. So the Buick Electra, followed by the Chrysler Cordoba. That's my favorite car I ever had, and that's my second biggest regret in my whole life is selling that car.
Okay, get rid of it. Yeah.
I recently found one here, but I have and it's cheap as fuck and low miles and in good shape, but I have nowhere to keep a car. And I don't have money coming in like I need to have two cars. Okay, so then I had a the Ford Escort station wagon. Then I had a little white Toyota truck, 93. Then I had an Isuzu Trooper, 93. And then I had the awful Ford Taurus. And then now I have a Honda CR-V.
Okay.
I only like the Cordoba. That's the only car I've ever owned that I loved.
That one and the Taurus, obviously.
I appreciate my car now. I appreciate it, but I don't love it.
Okay. What's the next step? What's the next one? A limo? That'd be cool. How do elements that are not related to music inspire your music? How often does that occur?
Most of my songs are about like events in my life. But occasionally something outside of that and outside of music inspires me to write something. Cody Clam writes songs very differently from me. He writes a story, based off something not real that he came up with. And I think would be a good way to try. Maybe I will go to a park and I'll gaze at a tree and I'll write a song about a beautiful tree. I should try that instead of writing about my friggin' self all the time.
Is it different writing for the Clams rather than your solo project?
Yes, in a lot of ways, but I think it's because with the solo project, it's so not really solo. Like, it's more like Shannon without the Clams, I think. Or am I being offensive to myself right now? Am I being rude to myself? Well, basically, it's like I wrote half of those songs, and the other half were songwriting collaborations with Dan Auerbach and like oh man, one of the guys that Dan brings in, these old session guys and these old session songwriters, just to try and get artists to like write differently, which I didn't want to do at all. And then I ended up really understanding the value in that, especially because they got some really cool stories. One of the guys, his name's Bobby. He played okay, you know the song Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond?
Sure.
He wrote ba ba ba, like the part of the song. And you know, that's a great part.
That's like the crux of it, I would say. Yeah, definitely. That's what everybody loves. Yeah.
And he wrote with like Aretha Franklin and Wilson Pickett and Elvis, and he's just like, anyways. So sitting down and having to write a song with him was like very intimidating and very different because we don't know each other, you know. Typically with the Clams, I have a song and I show it to Cody, and you know, we work through the whole thing together, and then we teach it to the band, and then they come up with their parts. That's typically how it goes. So it was different to have to collaborate with these guys I don't know. I didn't really know Dan Auerbach at all, and I really didn't know Bobby, but he's real, you know, he's like 79 or 80. He carries a pistol in a mini backpack at all times, and he's like, I mean, he's cool, a weird, cool dude. Did you ever hear the Ween Pure Country Gold album?
No, I haven't.
I'm a big Ween fan. Okay, never mind.
Dean Ween. No, I'm with it. I would like to hear it still. I love stories. Love to hear it.
Well, all these guys that played, all the session players that played on my album, they have played with all these greats. They also got hired to do a session for Ween, and they did all the music on Pure Country Gold. However, they didn't know any of the lyrics. They didn't know anything about Ween. They'd never heard of it. And so when they heard it later, they were so offended. But it doesn't mean anything till you actually listen to the record. There's some like very gnarly, stupid, idiot lyrics on there.
I still like the story, Shannon, and I'm glad that you shared it. And I want to say this:
I'm sweating.
So I still think about this story that you told me about camping last year. That you were I believe that you might have been intoxicated. You were walking around the campsite and you heard a song that somebody else was playing. That's still one of the greatest stories that has been on here. And I'm not going to say it now because people can go back and listen to the other one. That's how I garner views. Okay.
I'm getting your podcast right now. Or maybe I already have it. The Vineyard, right? Why is it called that?
Okay, so I was hanging out with a couple buddies, and one of my buddies was depressed, and he was broken up about a girl, and he was saying, it's like, oh yeah, and then I was just walking around. I was walking through the Vineyard, which was I believe some apartment complexes is where he was walking, and I pulled my other buddy Josh aside, and I said, you know, that would be like a great name for a song, you know. And he's like, oh yeah, but I never ended up jamming or writing anything like that with him, and I needed a name for the podcast immediately. I was like, all right, well, I've been toying with this name, so I'll just throw it out there, the Vineyard. So that's why it's called that.
Oh, does your friend know that?
Yeah, he does. And I love Josh. I do. I haven't seen him recently. I hope he's doing well. I think he's He's still in school. He's wrapping up this semester, so hopefully I'll see him after the semester. He's a good guy.
Shout out Josh.
Well, Josh Lodici, good guy. Yeah, Lodici. My other friend though, Michael Napoli, he I asked him this. I said, "Hey, what was the best concert you've attended?" And he said it was a Shannon and The Clams concert.
Cool.
Yeah.
Smart guy.
Very smart guy.
Michael Napoli.
Michael Napoli. What song elicits the biggest response from the audience when you play it live?
People go nuts for The Boy and for Ozma. Those are the two I would say get the biggest responses and like the most singing along. And I mean, people, they show up for all of it, but those songs, I believe. Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones that really hit hard.
Yeah.
Do you understand why?
Something I realized is positive is it used to really bother me, and please stop me if I already told this story the last time, but I used to hate when people wouldn't know what our songs were about. Like I wanted everyone to just know, but I didn't want to tell anyone, and I didn't want to make the lyrics like crystal clear because I didn't want to do any explaining. But it bothered me that people thought Ozma was just about some guy who broke my heart. Like that ends up being what people think all my songs are about, and they're not. There's some, but most of them are not about that. And that used to really bother me. But then I kind of realized, actually, I realized it because I played at Donner Fest, and this guy came up to me and was talking about how much Ozma means to him. And he's like, I just lost my dad, and I really feel for you. He thought that song was about a human dying. It's really about a dog of mine dying. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. No, it's actually about my dog. It's not about, and I made the guy feel weird. So and that bothered me forever. Like I felt bad that I made that guy feel awkward about, telling me what the song meant to him. And so what I ended up getting out of that later is people should take away from a song whatever they want. That I think it's actually really beautiful to be able to project your own issues into music or art or whatever, and then get back what you need from it instead of just because otherwise, like, how are you supposed to really be able to feel the song if it didn't happen to you? You know what I mean? Like, is everyone really singing about my dog dying? No, people are like reaching into themselves and finding, some painful spot or some happy place, and connecting with the song,
taking away what they perceive it to be. Yeah, it's open for interpretation. Yeah, it's not just about the singular thing. It could be about whatever you think it is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
people want to know what like The Boy and Ozma is about, and I really like when people are just putting their own shit onto it, So I think that we were just successful with those songs at making that easy for people to channel.
Becomes collaborative stuff. At the end of the day, everybody has a part in it. Yeah. Does it when you perform songs off like the first record and second record, older songs, does it bring you back to that time in your life? Like, does it make you think about whatever you're going through at that time while you're performing it?
Yes, a lot of the time it does. Yeah, there's some songs that I basically, like, to give a real genuine performance, I have to tap back in. And there's some songs that I can't anymore. I cannot tap into that song anymore. Or like my feelings have evolved so much about this subject that it's like not conducive or healthy or gratifying or convincing, because I'm just so far away from where I was when I wrote it. But there's still songs like Ozma. I still miss that fucking dog so much. so I can tap back in to do Ozma. I'm never just phoning it in. If it's a song, I have to still feel it in some way in order to want to perform it.
How important is it for you to have a creative outlet outside of music?
Wildly important. I think for everyone should have one. I feel really bad for people that have zero hobbies and no creative outlet, no outlet. You know, I think it's really important.
Yeah. Does it kind of help you take a step back from whatever, if you're working on a song or have to put together an album or whatever, and you're just kind of take a step back for a minute, still using a creative, part of your brain, but not focusing in on songs?
Yes. And I think some, usually I have like seasons of doing music, writing and recording or touring, and then I'll have like a season of painting. And painting is like the only time, I know this is bad for a music podcast, but painting is kind of the only time that I listen to music now, because I'm so I love autobiographies and I love true crime.
If you had picked up the bass when you were younger, do you think that the trajectory of your music would have been changed and altered in some way?
Yeah, I think that this worked out how it was supposed to. Mm-hmm. I used to get really like angry, like, why the fuck did my mom not let me play music when I was a kid? It made me so mad. All my brothers played it, and she was like, I don't know why. And it really bothered me. But now I'm like, I'm glad, because I would never have put in the efforts and the energy if it had been made easy for me. The things I like doing are very hard for me. Mm-hmm. It comes from this very stubborn side of me that doesn't want to be told that I can't do something. So it's good that she treated me differently than my brothers.
Right.
And oh my God, if I started playing bass when I was like 14 or 13, I would have been making some horrible music with horrible people. So it would have been like Napa people, and I'm still friends with a lot of my Napa friends, but it would have sounded like Slipknot or Orgy or something like that. You probably don't know what those are.
Really, really good stuff. I know. I have a music podcast and I have to know these bands. This is a requirement. Okay.
You're right.
If you hadn't picked up the bass at all, would you have leaned way more heavily into like illustration and you with metal, like making art out of metal, right? I mean, that's what you did in college, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For sure. I would be. Yeah, I don't know what exactly I would actually be doing, but definitely something with 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional art.
Listening to a lot of music though.
I would be listening. I maybe would never have gotten into podcasts and audio books.
Your true crime. Do you have a favorite song to perform that you like to play the most?
It changes a lot. It can be really exciting to bring back an old song. The songs that I really like playing are usually songs Cody and I sing together. Just because they usually have a funner energy. Like I love playing The Bog and I love playing Midnight Wine. Those ones are fun.
I like those ones too. How about that? Put in my list, put on it.
Hey.
What is a band that is no longer around, whether they've passed away or they've broken up or whatever the case is, that you think that you'd make a good addition to?
Ooh. Wait. Like me replacing like a bass player? Or
you don't have to play bass, but if that has to be said for it to narrow it down, then sure. But you don't have to be playing. You can play drums, you can play guitar, you play backup vocals, front vocals, whatever. What is a band that you think that you would be a good addition to?
The Misfits. I would love. I mean, no one's dead from the Misfits, but I could kick some dudes out, and like I would love to write Danzig some freaking songs. I guess that's where I can see myself like songwriting. Like I would love to be his ghostwriter and write him some new hits that would, I know I can do it. Or like I was watching a little clip of Miley Cyrus promoting her New Year's Eve show on Jimmy Fallon or something. And I was like, I want to write her songs. Because I want her songs to be, there's some good ones, but it would be really fun to have nothing to do with it, like visually, to just be behind the scenes and have, someone. That sounds fun.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking to the right guy. I will put that in the works, and we'll see what happens. We'll see how Miley responds to it. No problem. I mean, I try to do everything for the guests. What song that has now been released through, whether it be your solo work or with the Clams, that sounds nothing like what you originally thought it would sound like?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. On my solo album, I have a song called Crying My Eyes Out. That was supposed to be way different. It was supposed to be like quiet and simple, like maybe just maybe no percussion. I've been wanting to do that lately, or not no percussion, but no drums. Like I love Every Day by Buddy Holly, and that there's not, it's just like thigh slaps or something. I love that. So when I bring that to my band, they don't like that. I mean, they love that Buddy Holly song, but they want, they want full drums. But anyways, I would say Crying My Eyes Out turned out way different, but I love how it turned out.
It's a great song. Let me add, in talking about crying my eyes out, whose idea was it for you to play different characters within the music video for it? I mean, that you were dressed up as different people playing all the different instruments.
I think it was my idea. If it wasn't my idea, then it was my friend Ryan Brown who directed it. We have very similar sense of humor. So I'm gonna say me, but if I'm wrong, it was him.
Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, I actually cracked myself up when I watched that video.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I have I don't know if you can see all the details, but I have like a hairy chest for one of the characters. The engineer has hairy fingers and hairy hands. That was so fun.
Great video. Is there a certain album or song that you look to help you gain inspiration or like motivation to write or record something, a song?
Yeah, I've been so obsessed with Dion Kickin' Child, that album. I don't know if you've heard it. I know you have a music podcast, but if you haven't,
you heard about it. You heard about the podcast. Very nice. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I know you're a big fan.
The Vineyard. Listen to the Vineyard.
There it
podcast.
There's a snippet.
Anyways, it is so good, and his songwriting is so. Do you know who Dion is?
The Wanderer, yeah.
So
sure.
Yeah. I just never appreciated his songwriting before. He is so fucking good. And then he even had an album in the 80s that is shockingly good, which that's kind of rare for dudes from that day to put out like an 80s album and it be good. Smokey Robinson did it too. Good 80s album. Anyway, so yeah, I listened to a lot of that Dion record. And I've been listening to this lady named Joyce Heath. It shook my world. It shocked me so much. It was so weird and unique that I started doing whatever I could to find a copy on like a 7-inch or even a full length or something. Nothing, except I got a bootleg CD from eBay, and it's so good and so weird. So I really like listening to that because it's so simple. She has a song, you should listen to it. I don't know if you'd like it, but maybe you would. Called I Wouldn't Dream of It by Joyce Heath. Joyce with a Y. And it's so simple. There's like hardly any instrumentation, and it's just solid lyrics and a really interesting melody. Sometimes that's all it takes. It's nice to listen to stuff that's way stripped down, and then also listen to stuff with headphones, going back to your headphones question, with like tons of production, you know. I think it's good to go back and forth.
Right. Yeah. You gotta get the best of both, as well as the middle. Covering all bases. What is your favorite track off of Year of the Spider?
Oh, what songs are on there? I wish I had an album to look at the back.
Year of the Spider, right?
Know.
That's the favorite one, correct? I'm trying to help you out there, Shannon.
That's a good song. I really like Mary Don't Go. Maybe the most. And I ended up liking Vanishing a lot. I didn't like it for a long time, but then I got into it. People really like that one live. Yeah, that's all I can think of right now. But every song on that album is a hit.
And people should go get it, right?
Yeah. You're the Spider, out now by Shannon and The Clams.
There it is. How important is camaraderie within a band for you?
I mean, it's incredibly important. Incredible. Are you writing that down?
No, I'm just making sure that I asked it. That was a very important question.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't want to be in a band with someone that was like, oh, camaraderie doesn't mean anything to me. It's not important at all in the band. I would be like, you are a sociopath and I don't want to be around you. You have to be able to, you know, function and thrive, you know, healthily, and be with people that you trust and respect. I mean, we're like 12 years deep. We're still learning stuff. Our trajectory has been slowly but steadily climbing this whole time. And I don't think that happens it absolutely doesn't happen for everyone. And I think a lot of it is because of our camaraderie, because we're, you know, good, kind people who love and respect each other. It's everything. It's what a band should be. Are you watching the Beatles documentary?
I am not. People are talking way too much about it. I prefer not to. Wow. That's it.
Okay.
I'll take that stance. I don't care. No, I don't have what is it? What's it on? So many streaming platforms. Quibi. It's on Quibi, right?
Disney Plus is a good one to have. It's only $5 a month. And you can watch The Mandalorian, and there's lots of weird documentaries on there.
Are they paying you?
Are
they paying you to say this? I'd like a part of the cut if this is a fucking ad for it. Shannon, it's so nice to speak to you again, and I just thank you again for coming back on. This has been a real treat.
Oh yeah. Why did you bring me back on?
Because I love your music. I think that you're very nice, and I like to have guests on that I really enjoy, and you're definitely one of them.
Oh, good.
Yeah. How about that?
I like that answer. That's a good answer.
Thank you. You see how I switched it around? I give you a compliment just for you to give me a compliment. That's what I've learned since you've been on here. It's taken a few. But to wrap it up with some promo stuff, You're the Spider is streaming everywhere. Wherever you like to listen to music, that's where you can find it. And along with all the other previous releases from Shannon and the Clams. And you can buy the album at easysound.com. You can still find it there as of this recording, as well as your solo album, of course.
That's right.
You guys' Patreon. You guys have a Patreon going on
We
right now?
do have a Patreon. Thank
Cool.
you.
Yeah. Where people could just search, I think, Shannon and The Clams /Patreon probably. Google
That's
it like
right.
that. Cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? Are you going on tour this next year, or kind of taking it easy?
Yeah, we're gonna be touring around, and I mean, so again, things are seemingly up in the air because some borders are closing down again, some borders are opening up, but we do have we're playing New Year's. I don't know when the Vineyard podcast is going to be playing this episode, but
this is next week. So if you got anything.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Next Friday, rather. Sorry.
Okay. New Year's Eve, we're playing in Denver. It's already sold out, so don't try and get tickets or anything. But and then we're doing a little. Yeah. Oh, please, little West Coast tour. We're coming to Solana Beach. That's probably as close as we get to you.
I'm moving to Portland tomorrow, so I'm pretty close.
Oh, dang.
I'm in the area, so it's fine. Packing up the CRV and heading up there, you know. Yeah. You see, or the Taurus. I don't know which one to take, because you know, I'm in a place financially that I could get 2 cars, you know.
Oh, nice.
Kidding. I'm not rich at all. I'm losing a lot of money on this. And the benefit show, right, is coming up with
yes,
Shannon and The Clams in the Vineyard to help the Vineyard out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna make you rich.
Yeah, Shannon and The Clams, Drake, Kanye. Be sure to check it out. No, but people can stay up to date on Instagram is the best place. Yeah, Shan and The Clams.
Shan and The Clams. And you know what? We have a TikTok, but I don't know how to do it yet. I only made one video, and someone else made it and told me what to do. So, you know, encourage me on TikTok. How about that? And then maybe I'll start doing it. I'm just scared right now.
Garrett, yeah. Okay. Is there anything else we got to promote here before I cut you loose? Stop recording this.
No.
Okay.
Nothing else.
Okay, good. Nothing. That's it. I mean, we plugged enough. Thank you so much, Shane. I appreciate you for coming back on.
Checks in the mail, right?
I kind of slid it through underneath the doormat. So.
Oh my God. Okay.